I guess I'm live. How you guys doing? This looks like bed rant, but it's actually a music lesson. It's a lesson you're probably going to miss because it's very understated, but yet at the same time, it might be new musical thought. In other words, this is an idea that I'm not sure has ever been told about. I'm not going to do a Rick Beato and say I guarantee you, but it may be just slightly new information here. But since I'm not holding guitar and overbearing about it, you might miss it. Kind of like the Ferris Bueller when he goes, life moves by pretty fast. If you don't stop looking around once in a while, you might miss it, or you could miss it. But in fact, this lesson almost didn't happen because I just now thought of the idea in its completion, and it almost didn't come to me, but it did. And I almost did this with a guitar in my hand, but I've had enough guitars in my hand for the last few hours. I'm good. So here goes. I'm talking about the modes of the major scale, or just the modes by name anyway. They can be altered and be part of not the major scale, but they're still titled that mode. And this is a unique approach, I have a feeling, if you hang on for a second. The modes are in three pairs. Take Locrian out of the business. So you have Dorian, whatever. You know the six modes. You know the other six modes. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Aeolian. They're in three pairs, each with a major and a minor mode, and I'm going to explain this. Let's start with the obvious and familiar. Ionian mode is major scale. Aeolian mode is natural minor scale, or you can alter it to Aeolian mode with a sharp 7 to make it a harmonic minor scale. Either way, it's just Aeolian for the purpose of this talk. Now, here's the topic. How major or minor do they sound, and what do they tend to want to do major and minor wise? This hasn't been talked about before, and I would miss it too because I'd just say this guy's boring. C major scale, Ionian mode just wants to be major. It really wants to be itself. If you play Ionian mode, it's comfortable. It wants to be that. And if you play Aeolian mode, it wants to be Aeolian. It's comfortable being the Aeolian, mode. But I'm going to switch it up a little bit here. I'm going to take Dorian and Mixolydian now. See, Dorian's got a sharp 6 different from the Aeolian. I mean, Dorian has a sharp 6 different from Aeolian, and Mixolydian has a flat 7 difference from Ionian. Now here we have a different bag of tricks here. You have Dorian, which kind of wants to be Dorian, but really kind of wants to be major. It really covets to be Mixolydian. If you play a Dorian mode, it's always wanting, the minor third is always trying to slide up to a major third to make it Mixolydian. It just has that little itch, Dorian does, to try to be major with being sharp making an F sharp instead of an F, and if you're in D Dorian. Okay, and the Mixolydian mode, the same reverse. It kind of wants to be minor. If you play a Mixolydian mode, it's always, that major third is always itching to go down to a minor third. It just is. I don't know why. And that would be if you're in G Mixolydian, that would be the B wanting to go down to B flat. It just does. I don't know. It's not really strong, but it's not. But at the same time, it's there. Now there's the interesting part of the lesson. Well, the whole thing's lesson. I think the whole lesson's interesting, but here's another part of the lesson. The third set of modes is Phrygian and Lydian. I kind of do them from the inside out on the circle of fifths. You have Dorian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Ionian, Phrygian, Lydian, or you could think of it as Mixolydian, Dorian, Ionian, Aeolian, Lydian, Phrygian. Now we have a whole new concept here. The Lydian mode totally wants to be minor. It wants that A flat to make it a minor. It just sounds like it's really itching to be the other. You could call it the transsexuals. F Lydian really wants the A flat to make it an F minor. It just covets it. It just really wants to be minor. It's not comfortable being major. But then there's Phrygian. Phrygian wants really bad to be major. It wants the G sharp if you're an E Phrygian. It really wants to be major. It doesn't like being minor. It says, screw you, I want to be major. It's the other transsexual interval. It just wants to be major. That E covets having the G sharp instead of the natural G to make it a E Phrygian dominant, or a major version of Phrygian. And then Locrian, I don't know. I don't really use that mode. Now that's the capture of what I just said. I think it's unique thought. I don't think it's been thought of before, but if it has, great. Listen to them. They're probably better. No. So that's how I see it. You have a major and a minor. The major Ionian is comfortable being major. The minor Aeolian is comfortable being minor. Then you have the major Mixolydian, which kind of wants to be minor, but not that badly. And then you have the Dorian, which is minor, but kind of wants to be major, but not that badly. Then you have the Lydian, which totally wants to be minor. It wants the A flat to make it an F minor, an F Lydian minor, which is actually the fourth mode of the harmonic major scale. And then the Phrygian mode really wants to be major. Right? That it wants to be G sharp instead of the G, which makes it Phrygian dominant, which is the fifth mode of the harmonic minor scale. And I didn't get this out of a book. I didn't even get it out of theory in my own head. I got it from playing music and just listening to the sounds of the modes. If you play Aeolian mode, you're comfortable being minor, you stay there. If you're in Ionian mode, you're comfortable being major, stay there. But if you're in Dorian, you kind of want to go major. You want to kind of go flip it to Mixolydian. If you're Mixolydian, you kind of want to go minor and flip it to Dorian. But if you're Lydian, you totally want to minor out. And if you're Phrygian, you totally want to major out. It just works that way in my experience. And love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.